Russia's offer of the Su-57E fifth-generation fighter and the S-70 Okhotnik-B unmanned combat aerial vehicle, UCAV, to India continues to be positioned as a symbol of advanced manned-unmanned combat teaming potential. However, when analyzed through a fact-based lens rooted in technical, industrial, strategic, and geopolitical realities, the offer appears to be more aspirational than practical. Both platforms remain under development or limited production, and serious deficiencies in capability, maturity, and transparency prevent them from being considered truly operational or export-ready. The Su-57E is the export version of the Su-57, a fighter that Russia began developing in the early 2000s, under the FGFA program. It was meant to counter other global fifth-generation fighter programs, but progress has been consistently slow. The aircraft made its first flight in 2010, yet more than 15 years later, only a small number of units have been produced and inducted into limited Russian service. Even within Russian forces, full combat integration has not been completed. These jets continue to operate with the earlier Al-41F1 engine, which lacks the reduced infrared signature and thrust vectoring capabilities that the next-generation Izdali A-30 was expected to deliver. The upgraded engine remains delayed and incomplete in serial production. The Su-57E's stealth characteristics have not been independently verified to meet fifth-generation standards. External features, such as exposed engine nozzles, surface joints, and diverterless intakes, fall short of the shaping required to minimize radar cross-section. Comparisons with global counterparts show clear design compromises in low observability. Despite Russian claims of stealth, experts have noted the lack of shaping continuity and poor thermal masking, which would expose the aircraft to modern infrared search and track (IRST) systems and long-wave radars. The aircraft is claimed to possess an advanced sensor suite, including a main AESA radar and side-looking L-band radars. However, the integration and fusion of these systems into a real-time, coherent tactical picture has not been demonstrated in operational deployments. Most available demonstrations are choreographed test flights or flybys. While Russia promotes the idea of the Su-57 operating in data-linked formations with drones like the S-70, there is no hard evidence that such networking is viable in contested electromagnetic environments or under live-fire conditions. In the few combat scenarios where Su-57s were reportedly deployed, such as limited missions in Syria and Ukraine, they operated in uncontested or low-risk zones. There were no confirmed engagements with adversary fighters or advanced air defense systems. Reports suggest these aircraft launched standoff missiles from safe distances, avoiding exposure to radar tracking. These roles do not match the strategic image presented in promotional materials and are more indicative of cautious test-based deployment than real combat utility. The S-70 Okhotnik-B, meanwhile, is being portrayed as a loyal wingman UCAV meant to function alongside the Su-57. It uses a flying wing design with blended features intended to reduce radar visibility. Russia has released video clips showing it flying in formation with Su-57s and dropping test munitions. However, the S-70 remains a prototype system that has not reached operational readiness. Testing continues, and there is no established serial production line. Russian defense industry statements regarding its expected induction timelines have been repeatedly delayed. The current form of the S-70 has yet to complete a comprehensive test program that includes autonomous operations, data-linked security, contested environment, survivability, and real-world airstrike scenarios. The software, autonomy levels, and decision-making architecture of the S-70 remain unknown. Russia has not published specifications or testing data regarding how it responds to electronic jamming, GPS denial, or battlefield command disruptions. There is also no independent verification that it possesses the level of artificial intelligence or human-machine interface sophistication required for autonomous deep strike roles or suppression missions under real-world conditions. Its command and control network is built on platforms still under construction and lacking battlefield validation. India's position on this offer remains uncommitted. While Russia continues to refer to the Su-57E and S-70 as suitable for India's airpower modernization, there is no official Indian government statement recognizing the proposal or engaging in technical dialogue. Indian defense officials have not acknowledged any trials or feasibility assessments. Previous experience with the FGFA program, based on the Su-57, was deeply negative for India. The FGFA collapsed after years of failed negotiations, cost concerns, disagreements over stealth requirements, lack of code access, and poor development timelines. That legacy still casts a shadow on any Su-57E related discussions. Furthermore, India's aerospace modernization priorities now emphasize long-term autonomy, source code ownership, and deep industrial control. For any air platform to be inducted, it must provide full access to its software architecture, allow indigenous integration of mission systems, and support local maintenance ecosystems. Russia has historically restricted such access, particularly with high-end systems. These barriers remain unresolved. The Su-57E and S-70 package also carries logistical and operational risk. Maintenance infrastructure, spare parts availability, ground control system compatibility, and training frameworks are not in place in India. Without these, deployment of either platform would involve long lead times, high integration costs, and dependency on a foreign supplier already burdened by domestic wartime production priorities. India would also face challenges in aligning such platforms with its existing communication networks and command structure, especially given limited interoperability between legacy Russian systems and modern multi-band digital systems. From a political standpoint, any major defense acquisition from Russia, especially involving high-profile platforms, exposes India to diplomatic complications. Western frameworks such as CATSA impose indirect consequences for large purchases from Russian defense entities. While India has previously managed such pressures, its strategic partnerships with other powers and its current geopolitical balancing act make high-end acquisitions from sanctioned suppliers less likely. The Su-57E and S-70 remain ambitious but incomplete systems. Their current state is marked by limited operational validation, incomplete production readiness, and unresolved issues in stealth performance, engine design, system integration, autonomy, and export support. India has not formally responded to or advanced this offer, and its historical experience, technical requirements, and long-term defense strategy make such a deal improbable without substantial structural change in both the technology and the transparency being offered. The proposal appears to be more of a diplomatic gesture or media narrative than a grounded, actionable defense acquisition pathway.